That's crazy.
I'm not a fan of him lyrically or acting-wise.
Really?
Hey, Daddy, put hands on you, give you real black eyes. Come on, don't do that. And that's the truth. I've had about enough of your shit.
Who is this?
Aries Spears.
Oh, that dude?
Yeah. He said nothing.
Is he a comedian?
Yeah.
Because he ain't never made me laugh, so I don't know if he can.
When the man who penned No Vaseline, Ice Cube, stops his billionaire routine to disparage you, you know you've really gone astray. Aries Spears, however, came for Cube's whole legacy, not simply to make fun of him. Aries remarked bluntly on Big Boy's Neighborhood that Cube was garbage as an actor and rapper. Cube was determined not to overlook that. He responded by claiming that Aries was unimportant, unfunny, and not even close to ranking in the top 10 of black comedies. As you are already aware, 50 Cent naturally learned about it after that. 50 Cent loves nothing more than to roast someone who is already in a bad mood. What began as just another laid-back segment quickly took a turn to the left. Big Boy was simply engaging in one of those typical barbershop-style conversations, talking about lists of debate topics and rapper rankings. Nothing too complex. Aries Spears, however, went totally off course since she is an Aries. Aries didn't hesitate when the name of Ice Cube was mentioned. Not only did he express his disapproval in a light-hearted manner, but he did so with outright disdain. As he stated it, people on the internet realized that this was not going to end quietly.
Ice Cube is a motherfucking
I
lyricist.
can't stand Ice Cube.
That's crazy.
I'm not a fan of him lyrically or acting-wise.
Really?
He's the same in
How much time we got left here? Because should I just tell him to leave now? Or?
What he said previously was only a warm-up, according to Chatgapt. It didn't end there. Aries Spears persisted in hitting Today Was a Good Day, one of the most iconic West Coast songs in hip-hop history. He downplayed the song's significance and thus nullified decades of admiration for it by dismissing it entirely as though it weren't a cultural mainstay. As a result of the fans' prompt reactions, the online debate really heated up.
I don't think that...
One of the songs I hate the most, if it comes on, I want to shoot the radio. Today was a good day.
In an attempt to lighten the tone and laugh it off, Big Boy's co-host even tried. Aries, however, wasn't about to give up. He intensified his defamation and pretended to be a gynecologist, a bizarre impersonation of Ice Cube. It quickly became awkward, and when he finally delivered the punchline, if you can call it that, the entire audience fell silent. There were times when the embarrassment of the second party was palpable through the television.
He goes, here's Ice Cube as a gynecologist. Hey, Miss Jenkins, I looked at your chart. Now get up on that bun.
That's racist. I don't know how it's racist, but what you just did.
And as if he had just told the year's greatest joke, Aries laughed, but no one else smiled. The atmosphere was rigid, and it was obvious that Aries Spears had gone far beyond what was appropriate. This was not only lighthearted teasing. When Big Boy tried to refocus the conversation, Aries continued to double down as if he had something to prove, but the co-hosts were uneasy. People assumed he would leave it be, but he went one step farther and made fun of Tupac. It's true that Aries went there.
The greatest lyricist. He was energy. He was passion. He made you feel him. If that said, tear the club up, you wanted to tear the club up. Dear mama, you wanted to hug your mama. When you think about lyricism, Nas, Jay-Z, Biggie, Jadakiss, my lyrics spit it.
In addition to making insulting remarks, he disrespected the entire West Coast, which is the quickest way to get banned from this area. Even stranger was the fact that Aries was well aware of what he was doing. This was a completely planned slip, not an unplanned one. When he finally turned to face the camera, he said,
The comments. Now, when people talk about, you ask anybody, no matter where their region, you know, give me a top 5 rappers. Pac's usually always in that list. Right. I don't ever put Pac up there with the top.
What Chatgap stated, it was swiftly met with resistance. One admirer said, I adore Aries' skill, but the Ice Cube slander, that is not permitted. This is why Aries lacks credibility when discussing Pac or Cube's lyrical abilities, another person added. He simply feels resentment that New York lost its influence when the West Coast seized power in the 1980s and 1990 seconds. The legends usually don't even bother to reply when someone like Aries spews vitriol. Typically, They ignore it and continue on. However, not now. Like a relog, Ice Cube answered. He did more than simply return the clap. He questioned Aries' entire role in the game, questioning if he was funny, relevant, or ever truly important in black comedy.
Saw a comedian speaking kind of bad about you, man.
Who is this?
Aries Spears.
Oh, that dude?
Yeah. He said nothing
Is he a comedian? Because he ain't never made me laugh, so I don't know if he...
Only did Ice Cube defend himself, but he also disregarded Aries Spears' entire career. By casting doubt on Aries' entire legacy, he went right for the target without bothering to exchange insults. It was about more than one remark or insult. Cube basically stated that when it comes to comedy icons, Aries isn't even mentioned.
What he said?
What'd he say?
He said it was nothing about you impresses him. From movies to rapping, nothing at all impresses him. I'm like, wow, like what?
Suckers usually don't like me. You know what I'm saying? Like the people that you know, they usually don't like me when they coming from that angle. That's cool though. You know, everybody got their opinion, and they all stink. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it's cool. You know, he entitled to his opinion. It's the feeling is mutual. You know, I don't think he on anybody's list of top 10 comedians. You know what I mean? In the black community for sure. I don't even know if he's on the register.
Cube is highly experienced in this game, so he knew exactly what he was doing. From writing for Nua to releasing one of the best diss tracks ever to creating timeless songs like Friday or creating the Big Three League from the ground up, he has been a rock star from the beginning. It's clear from Ice Cube's resume. However, it wasn't over after that viral video. After being ridiculed by luminaries and dragged by fans on the internet, Aries Spears continued to appear on Vlad and reaffirmed all of his statements.
You had some words about Ice Cube recently.
You know, Willie D called me.
Okay.
I was in Louisville, Kentucky. And this, I love Willie D, that's my man. But this called me like I disrespected his mama. He was like, Aries, man, you don't understand what Ice Cube done did for the culture, man, and hip hop. Why you say? And I go, Willie, it's a subjective opinion. I'm allowed to not like Ice Cube. I know, man.
Evidently, Aries felt that one punch at Cube was insufficient.
Anything Ice Cube's done?
Nothing. Ice Cube does nothing for me as a rapper and an actor.
Okay.
Nothing.
Let's start with the rap. The Police. You don't think that's a classic song?
It's classic because of what it represents in terms of black struggle symbolism and what black people have gone through with the police historically. It's the song that makes you go, yeah! Yeah, I get how it can touch your emotions, but it don't do nothing for me.
Aries was unaware that this had already gone beyond Ice Cube, though. 50 Cent was watching it all happen, most likely looking through the videos on his phone while in a lavish room. The situation soon became more heated when Aries chose to attack him as well.
What do you think about 50 Cent's acting ability overall?
This is what I think about it. He did a movie with Sylvester Stallone where it was about them in these prisons that were like cubes. The one, you know what I mean? And he played a computer tech. You know what separated 50 Cent from 50 Cent the rapper to the computer tech actor?
Glasses?
Now I'm a computer tech.
He then did what he always does, which is to fire back in his own way, just when everyone thought 50 would overlook it. In a video he shared, the shade was obvious, but no names were mentioned. Funny, petty, and subtle, it was all 50. He only ever called someone insane without identifying them, but followers understood right away who the subject was.
Man, I gotta listen to this.
The problem is, though, why 50 even entered this mess. For the simple reason that 50 stays booked and busy. Aside from managing his liquor business, securing TV partnerships, creating series like Power and BMF, and touring, petty drama shouldn't even be on his mind. However, this wasn't simply online chatter, it was real. It's often forgotten that 50 and Ice Cube have long respected one another. Prior to anyone else believing in it, Cube was among the first Hollywood pioneers to co-sign the 50s cinematic career. During interviews, Cube was always given flowers by the 1950s in exchange.
It was on, I'm just watching. Music.
And movies, all of it.
Yeah. I never really seen Ice Cube in films that weren't his. You know, like he kind of produced the vehicle that he was in. And it wasn't like he was just being an actor in someone else's film.
The comic Aries is loud, harsh, and stuck in the past with nothing new to show for it, exactly the type of person 50 Cent detests. That's the excitement that 50 loves to ignite. He did flame. With bars, he pulled up and said, "Check my temperature. I'm quite cold. The left-hand hood of my chest froze. Need help with your bills?" He interjected with a sly remark. "I'll write you a sort of referral. Might lend you a romantic contract." It was then that Aries began to feel the heat. Feeling cornered, he launched into yet another tirade, this time focusing even more on Ice Cube in what appeared to be a full-blown blowout.
The poster child for the world's biggest hater. If you look up the word hate, it's my picture. When did we get to a point where, unless your opinion, and last time I checked, as human beings, we're all allowed to opinions. At what point does it get to where, unless your opinion is favorable about a person or a thing and goes with the flow of everyone else, you're a hater? I don't understand that.
He didn't stop there, though. Aries continued, so you could tell Cube's response was profound.
He sent me a clip where Ice Cube responded. He was on a radio show and the dude played him the snippet. And the first thing Ice Cube says is, well, most suckers don't like me. Then he goes on to say, I never heard of this dude. Then he finishes by saying, well, he's just not funny. Well, you can't have it both ways. If you don't know who I am, how do you know if I'm funny or not? So you can't have it both ways.
From there, it just became messier as Aries Spears totally blew his own argument. In the same sentence that he was disparaging Ice Cube, he abruptly changed his tone and stated that he does respect him as a man.
For the record, I respect Ice Cube, the man. I respect Ice Cube in terms of what he's brought to the game. He's one of the pioneers, so hats off to him.
From there, things just became messier since Aries Spears really blew his own argument. In one sentence, he asserted that he admired Ice Cube as a man, and then he remarked that Cube had never accomplished anything noteworthy throughout his career. Saying you appreciate someone and then dismissing their entire legacy in the same line is like this. It was unclear and harsh. His attempt to backpedal while continuing to cast shade was criticized by fans who saw right through it. As he attempted to pretend he hadn't lit the match, Aries had already destroyed the Brit.
I wasn't a fan of his artistry. I never attacked him as a man. I never attacked him in terms of his character. I said I wasn't a fan of his artistry. Why am I not allowed to feel that way? Why is that? And then secondly, it's always funny, people call me a hater because they love to highlight when I say I don't like something, as though I don't have love for anything.
It is an outright contradiction, not only an opinion. Therefore, once the reaction began, people were shaming Aries Spears for flip-flopping and playing like a victim, in addition to being angry at him for having a daring opinion. You cannot shoot and expect to be shocked when someone shoots back with the same intensity, someone said. Another remarked, "Sure, have your say. But after that skit, you're not valid." No, a man made an Ice Cube, the one that brought his troubled history to mind, however, was the drag that truly got to him. This feud stopped being merely for amusement at that point. Turn back to the Tiffany Haddish case. The unsettling lawsuit against Aries Spears and Tiffany Haddish was filed in 2022 and focused on grooming claims. A resurrected comedy sketch with a toddler left alone with a predatory adult figure played by Aries was the source of the dispute. The unsettling tone of the entire skit combined with the way the camera stayed on the child made everyone uneasy. Online uproar was triggered by what was supposed to be satire that felt far too real. The lawsuit was eventually dropped, but the internet didn't forget. When Aries began disparaging icons like Ice Cube, people quickly pulled that skeleton out of the closet.
You call me?
Oh yes, Uncle Pete. Can you watch TJ for me? I need to run to the I gotta
run some air. I need to go to cleaners, and I should be coming back. Okay?
All right, lady.
Thank you.
It then found itself in a precarious position. The criticism came right away. The video was posted by the Shade Room, and Twitter went crazy. Not a good look. The video was taken down from the internet, and the issue was eventually settled. But Aries' reputation was still harmed. Such outrage doesn't simply go away, particularly when kids are involved. What action did Aries take in response? As if nothing had happened, he immediately returned to Vlad rather than keeping quiet. His apparent belief that doubling down would make things better only served to highlight the disaster he was already in.
You and Tiffany's still good?
Yeah.
Okay, so she doesn't hold anything against you in terms of...
I mean, you know, she
participated in the whole thing, so it's not like she could, but I'm just saying, you know how people get.
Yeah, we good. We good.
You good?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there going to be a point where you can talk about this?
You know, I told you, when that point comes, you know, you can...
On Vlad TV, Aries Spears began to appear more frequently than Vlad himself. He would frequently complain about being blackballed and go on tirades about how he ought to be on par with Kevin Hart. Fans quickly picked up on it, and it became standard. More talking than work was what Aries was doing. His name was typically associated with drama, rehashed issues, or beefs rather than being featured in new comedy specials or acting roles. Success was not what he was after, but attention. A pattern can be found beyond the interviews and outbursts. Several former cast members have come forward to claim that Aries was difficult to deal with, prone to egotism, and constantly sought to outdo everyone.
Will never be satisfied. Why? Because some other mother will come along that'll take and blow the world up, and you'll want to be that. And then some other will come around and have as talented as you, or possibly more, and then you're going to get upset because again, you focus on everything that is not you.
Hold up.
Everything you want,
Wait a minute.
but not what's in your present space.
Interview unquestionably gifted. Aries Spears can command an audience, and his impressions are catchy, according to Chad Gapt. However, in actuality, he never experienced his Chappelle moment. That kind of lost chance might lead to resentment. Let's turn the table now and ask why this whole feud didn't work out for Aries. Because opposing Ice Cube is like attacking a cultural pillar. In addition to being a rapper, Cube is a movement. Among the top 3 diss tunes ever, No Vaseline is listed. By creating characters that are now ingrained in the culture, Friday revolutionized black comedy. The League of the Big Three, a full-fledged basketball company that was founded from the ground up and is currently co-signed by NBA stars. Long before all of that, Ice Cube was still a teenager and ghostwriting for artists like MC Ren, Dr. Dre, and Eazy-E. Is it Aries? His most well-known pieces are a couple strong stand-up sets and mad TV impressions. Therefore, his attempt to go viral off of controversy backfired when he insulted Cube on a podcast. Without hesitation, fans immediately took Cube's side. The kicker is this. Cube revealed the cast of the eagerly awaited final Friday film in a teaser, as well as the absence of Aries Spears. Fans interpreted that as a direct message, even though it might not seem like much. No matter how many impersonations he does, Aries will not be cast in important roles. He went viral, which was Aries' ultimate goal. Not for his comical abilities though, not because of his skill. Because he was dismissed like dust by 2 cultural titans, 50 Cent and Ice Cube, he is currently trending. Additionally, the internet didn't quarrel for once.